That was President Trump clearly denouncing racism and anti-Semitic violence following a string of bomb threats against Jewish community centers across our country. And get this, right now critics are saying that the Trump administration just isn't doing enough to combat the rise of anti-Semitism in the United States. But the president himself has several Jewish family members. In fact, his oldest daughter, son-in-law, and all his grandchildren practice Judaism. Just today, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu praised Trump's efforts, and I'm quoting here from the Prime Minister when he says it's very important that President Trump took a strong stand against anti-Semitism, and it's important that we all continue to do so in the years ahead. So why are members of the left saying it's not enough? Joining me right now, David Rubin, former mayor of Shiloh, Israel. Good to have you here, Mr. Mayor. You're someone who lives in Israel right now. What say you? I mean, do you feel that he is being anti-Semitic?
No, absolutely not. It's the most ridiculous charge I've ever heard. President Trump has a long history of closeness with the Jewish community. He garnered a lot of votes from the Jewish community, more than most Republican presidents. And I think that it really is a non-issue.
All right. Well, the left doesn't feel that way. They feel that it very much is an issue and that he's not doing enough. Let me ask you this. I mean, they have, let's face it, they've lost the union vote. They may, in fact, be in jeopardy of losing the Jewish American vote. I mean, when you talk about historically a population of people that have been sympathetic to the Democratic Party, I think of a lot of Jewish Americans. I also think of a lot of union voters. And right now, these seem to all be just disappearing right out of the hands of Democrats. Do you think there are strategic Democrats, politicians, that are trying to use this to their advantage to try and bring in more Jews that may be looking at the situation and saying, I think Donald Trump is going to be better for Israel than any member of the Democratic Party has proven to be recently?
Certainly. They're concerned about losing the Jewish liberals, so they're going to harp on this issue. But the fact is, except for the far leftists, some of whom may happen to be Jewish, who are out there at these ridiculous "I am a Muslim too" rallies, the fact is that most of the anti-Semitism comes today from Islamo-Nazis. Those are the ones who are the cause of most of the anti-Semitism in the world today, in Europe,
this. I mean, you
in
live,
the United States.
And you live in Israel, which is constantly under attack. When you look at what you've had to do in your country in terms of really enforcing borders, and you think about what Donald Trump's trying to do, saying, okay, if you're from one of these 7 countries, which is known to harbor terrorists, you know, do you think he's making the right and prudent decision?
Well, for a number of years, we had a lot of immigrants from Somalia. And I believe that's one of the 7 countries.
Yes.
And we built a wall on the southern border between Israel and Egypt. And that wall has practically halted all of that illegal immigration from Somalia.
So in other words, the wall works, in your view? I mean,
yes.
You still have tunnels there. You guys have certainly dealt with the tunnels, but you've had to deal with those all as well.
Yes. A wall is not always the answer, but in this case, it certainly was. And I think in the American situation, a wall definitely would be very helpful. And I might add that a lot of Muslims are coming in from the southern border. Al-Qaeda, Hezbollah, Hamas, all of these Islamic terrorists.
Our southern border.
Yes.
Yeah, no, that's a very good point. I did a lot of reporting on that. You have a very a large Islamic community actually down in Paraguay, bordering Argentina and Brazil, known as the tri-border area, pretty lawless region, and the concern is that anything goes down there and people can come in and out and they could make their way up here. It's so good to see you. David, thank you for coming in.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it. All right.